Welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV and yeah, more Arcanist. I hit level 30, so we have to catch up with a quest. Greetings, Serenia. In case such doubt fills your mind, you should know that I am ever willing to lend an ear if you find your thoughts troubled. At the very least, I would have you know this, because it seems that Claire does not. Before she has been missing since this morning. There have been other times when she has disappeared without a word, but we have always been able to find her. Alas, this is not the case this day. We have a guildmaster here. He could deduce her whereabouts with nary a moment's concentration. I find myself beginning to wonder if those who would devote themselves overmuch to Arcanima are more prone to bouts of wanderlust. But while I might wish to ponder further such oddities of character, we must needs organize a search party. Would you be so kind as to make inquiries in Hawker's Alley? It's not uncommon for Claire's wanderings to take a path through the markets. Huh. Excuse me, have you seen this Makota girl? You seek a Makota agent of Melvant Gate? Ah yes, I've seen her. Spoke of her, in fact. She was, however, apprehended by the Yellow Jackets. The assessor was drilling me for details about a frequent smuggling ring based in Airport, but when the soldiers arrived and took her away. If you wish to know her fate, then I suggest you speak with Ginade of a Coral Tower. Okay, that is the Marauder's Guild, I believe. For Circle here, yes, we brought her in for questioning regarding the reappearance of a pirate Doesmaga. A member of the Arcanist Guild, are you? Then I see no reason to conceal the nature of our discourse. Perhaps you're already aware of this, but the Forcier was once held captive by that rabid sea dog. Few pirates sink to such depths of depravity as Doesmaga. It's been 6 years now since he was exiled from Limsa Lominsa for engaging in the worst kind of black market trading. And now the villain has returned. He is, however, both cunning and cautious, and continues to evade our troops. Thus we hope to borrow the knowledge of a Forcier Claire. Those experiences have given her an intimate familiarity with the way the scoundrel operates. At least that was our intent. After varying a barrage of questions from the assessor, we found ourselves instead providing the details of our search. Should you wish to speak with Forcier Claire, I imagine she has already returned safely to your guild. And back to the Arcanist Guild. It probably won't be that easy. Back already? You were led to believe she had returned here. I'm afraid not. So the Yellow Jackets told you something about the history of Doesmaga, did they? Perhaps it would be best if I told you the entire tale. Doesmaga's banishment was the result of a surprise inspection that revealed his involvement in an underground slave trade. The assessor that stepped aboard the pirate's merchant ship spoke of finding dozens of unwashed unfortunates crammed into the squalid hold. Among these prisoners was a young Makota, destined for some black market auction block. While here was initially too terrified to even speak, the guildmaster brought her out of her fearful days with a gift of an initial's grimoire. Yes, the self-same tome that she has carried her entire career. Of course, did you not mention that Claire's grimoire was thrown into the sea? There are rumors that a Creequin merchant of ill repute has retrieved the black market goods the crew of a Morningstar heaved into the ocean. Even now he gloats over his salt-encrusted catch in Ailport. It is entirely possible that the Forcier's most prized possession was caught up in the Creequin's salvage net. I have no doubt now that Claire has reached the same conclusion. To Airport with you, Serenia. This is where you will find our wayward assessor. Yes, combat pattern 256 should serve to cover all expected contingencies. You never know when you have to nullify the thaumaturge or two. My retrieval strategy is complete. Serenia, it's good of you to come. I was unable to calculate for certain if you would piece together my movements in time. Very little is certain when so many variables are involved. But there's good news. The prisoner here was kind enough to confirm that the trader who salvaged the Morningstar Shatterson's cargo did indeed retrieve a tome matching the description of my lost grimoire. Lominsa law and policies of Melvan's Gate would support the confiscation of goods connected to an official inspection. But alas, my personal belongings do not fall under such a definition. Thus, I intend to launch an unofficial offensive against this black marketeer and his cronies. The peddler has already departed for Candlekeep Quay. It is time I gathered me such allies as I possess and I count you as one of them, Serenia. Despite the nature of his endeavor, Mistress Tubegame has offered me her cooperation. If you would, pray join her at Ocean's Embrace. That is where we shall ambush this disreputed Quickren. Greetings, Serenia. Your arrival completes our small company. You are equipped for battle, I trust? We need not await Clear's arrival. Once the Kirkin appears on the bridge, we spring our ambush. The strategy for trapping our target relies on two allies we have concealed on the other side of the ravine. This pincer maneuver was, naturally, the Foreseer's idea. As for the target himself, the Kirkin is known as a careful and cautious fellow. He travels with a small retinue so as to avoid attracting attention. But do not be fooled, more bodyguards follow at a distance and will likely join the fray after hostilities ensue. Do not, however, expect any assistance from the Yellow Jackets. They cannot be seen aiding us in what amounts to a personal matter, but they are willing to turn a blind eye for Clear's sake. In any case, the Foreseer's tactic account for a limited number and individual strength. Victory is all but assured. Now, let us take up our position and wait for the Kirkin to arrive. Filthy ambushers, they won't kick you in sparkles. Ambush them back! Conjurer, just as Clear predicted. We shift to combat pattern 158. Serenia, focus on the Conjurers and blunt the heals. Where is he? I can't see him. Ah, the Mamusha? Okay. No, be late for business. This business be bad for you. Serenia, I spy a Taumaturge. Quickly, switch to combat pattern 256. Even a lone mage can wreak untold havoc. Focus your attack on the Taumaturge first. All's done? It appears to be the last of them. Now, to find the Foreseer's Grimoire. Can't talk to him. Okay. Duty complete. Well executed, everyone. Were you able to retrieve my grimoire? Serenia, pray hand over the tome. It's ruined. My wonderful grimoire is ruined. The probability of repairing this degree of damage is 0%. Even the most brilliant strategy cannot undo such ravages of seawater. Yeah, it's a book. I have never felt so defeated. I believe it's time I returned home. Leave her be. But how can I? He's right, S daughter. You must allow Clea time to process the loss. And you have other matters to which you must attend. Come, Serenia, it is time we return to the guild as well. Not quite the victory we imagined, was it? The moment Clea beheld her soaked and tattered grimoire, you could see the light of hope die in her eyes. There's however something we can do. I will call on your aid soon, but in the meantime you would be well served to deepen your knowledge of Arcanima. And... have you come to ask about Clea's condition? The Overseer is unchanged. And she walks about as if all the joy in life has been leached from her soul. I believe the only one who can help her now is the same person who broke Clea out of her shell the first time, our absent guildmaster. And though I am leery of a coincidence, the man himself has at long last been spotted. Should you seek out his last known location, it is likely he will still be there. It is unlikely he will still be there, and even should you catch him, he may not deign to speak with you. Nevertheless, this may be our only chance. Pray travel to Memorune's trading post in Upper Lanasia and speak with anyone who might have seen the Guildmaster. Oh, and one more thing. Though he prefers us not to use it for some inexplicable reason, our leader's name is Kritia. Evening, miss. I was the one who sent word to your guild about spotting your leader. It's a rare sight to see Kritia roaming about. He asked me the way to Talaos. Could be he was seeking to speak with a scholar who lives out there. Hello there. Well, yes, I did receive a visit from a gentleman identifying himself as the Arcanist Guildmaster. An odd fellow, but obviously possessed of a well-rounded education. and it so happens he bid me pass on a message to anyone who came searching for him. Reunited with 3 slips of parchment hold the problem to the solution. The guildmaster mentioned that the slips of parchment are concealed among the bones of Talaos. I suppose you are expected to search for them. So, bones. A cobalt. Leave me be. Okay, I got them all. That was rather annoying. If you track down those 3 slips of parchment? Huh, interesting. They actually exist. To be perfectly honest, I thought you had been sent on a white dodo chase. Let's have a look at these, shall we? Well, well, penned in ancient elegant, no less. Fortunate for you, have a passing familiarity with the script? A secret box at Fool's Falls. Dance a jig for a wooden audience. Claim the secret from the opened heart. A most cryptic set of instructions, I must say. Do you intend to follow them? This guildmaster of yours certainly enjoys his games. Apparently so. Dance. Okay. So what else is in there? If there are answers you would seek, then to the trading post now go. Before we own or be not meek, with your 2 feet provide a show. Ah, now that was most entertaining. I must have something to amuse me doing these little jaunts back to civilization, you understand? Based on my evaluation of your ability, however, I calculated that you would arrive at this point somewhat earlier. You both did the dancing, didn't you? I never expected you to be shy. And never variable to add to your list of characteristics. I keep extensive mental notes of all the guild's members, you see. As an Arcanist, it was a simple method to engineer events so that I might meet you face to face. After all, strategy is a tool used to manipulate one's situation into the desired reality. Yeah, Clahia said that so often. And I do so enjoy seeing others dance in the palm of my hand, as it were. Here, you may have this. Think of it as payment for your performance. Though you might consider passing the tome on to Clear, that is the reason you sought me out, was it not? Before you give Clear the grimoire, however, I must insist that you dance for her. I will know if you don't. All this banal interaction has simply exhausted me. It's time I return to my studies. You, on the other hand, should travel forthwith to Anchor Yard in Limsa Lominsa. Be well, Serenia. We shall meet again. I'm 100% certain of it. That Guildmaster sure was an oddball, but probably extremely smart. Or he's just acting the part, who knows. My mind is ordinarily a whirlwind of probabilities and feints and counterattacks, but now there's naught but silence. This is how it once used to be, and perhaps how it always will be from now on. How about a dance for you? Maybe that will cheer you up. Were you always one for dancing? I don't recall any such you met our guildmaster, haven't you? Yes. That would explain your odd behavior. He does so enjoy seeing people perform unexpected acts of frivolity. But what could have spurred our reticent guildmaster to speak with you in person? This new grimoire. He gave you this grimoire to give to me? Uncanny. It's identical to the tome I received the first time I ever met our leader. You have my thanks, Serenia. The Guildmaster's fond of games and mischief, and I understand the troublesome trials he likely put you through before deeming you worthy of his attention. With this gift, however, his message to me is abundantly clear. I am to shape reality into the one I desire. And that means defeating Doesmaga. Gods, my mind is alive again with strategies. I must have time to think. Pray inform Mistress to the game of my return to duty. Clea has recovered from her despondency. That is wonderful news, and we have you to thank for it. It is unfortunate, however, that both Clea and our guildmaster are possessed of such impenetrable personalities. But at least in the case of a Foreseer, we have an inkling as to the nature of a cage that imprisons her. I continue to hope that her partnership with you shall gradually pry those bars apart. Return to your training, Serenia, and prepare yourself for the demanding tactics Clea is sure to formulate in the days ahead. I've been expecting you, Serenia. As ever, Clehia's predictions prove accurate almost down to the moment, and her mind is especially sharp with such a dangerous confrontation in the offing. The Yellow Jackets have contacted us with word of Doesmaga. It appears his merchant vessel is presently anchored off the coast of Bloodshore. Once the pirates' business is concluded, rumor has it that he intends to embark on an extended voyage to the east. It will be some time before he returns once more to Limsa Lominsa. If we pass up this opportunity, Clea will lose her chance to settle the score with Doesmaga, and we risk a foreseer stumbling once more into the blackest melancholy. Simply getting close enough to Doesmaga will prove difficult. Clea has, however, already formulated a solution and set her grand strategy into motion. Your first task in this undertaking is to travel to Costa del Sol and deliver this set of directions to a fisherman by the name of Relzern. More instructions will be forthcoming. The heck? What is it you want, lass? As you can see, it's me. I've me hands full with my fishing. Ah, thanks for that. I've been told to expect you. Here, you're to take one of me herrings and deliver it to the cook, Opilona. Cook, I have a fish. Yes, and how might I help you? Master Geruju is expecting his breakfast any moment now. Here you have a fresh herring. A fresh herring? While Master does enjoy a bite of boiled fish of a morning. This might even earn me a few extra coins for this week's wages. Well, you have earned yourself one of my homemade eel pies. I should tell you though, your Arcanist colleague was quite insistent that you take the eel pie to Master Geruju rather than scoff it down yourself. And what brings you to my... And I use this term facetiously humble abode. Dear madam? Such a heavenly aroma. Are you perchance carrying an eel pie about your person? How commendable that you should research delicacies that tickle my fancy before daring to intrude upon my most ponderous of ponderings. Speaking of ponderous, well, I have been speaking of it. At least, I have a hefty purse of guilt to persuade you to relinquish your claim on that pastry. One moment, if you will. I've been instructed by a Mailman's Gate assessor to hand over this message to whoever delivers an eel pie to Master Geruju. Take the purse you received from Master Geruju and hand it to the dancer Eldgit as she prepares to return home. Clea. Yes, if you're looking for a dancer, then I would first see your coin. I have 3 children to feed and no time to waste on idle chatter. Oh my, that is quite a purse. My precious darlings will eat like kings this week. And such a simple job as well. I was told to expect you, you see. In return for the coin, I am to give you these. The leather satchel is for your Mikote friend and the Rio is for me. That last item you are to deliver to Drogo, the warehouse foreman. I ain't got time for the likes of you. If I don't keep me work squared away, soon the master will have me head on a pike. Huh? You get something from me, you say? Hey now, ain't this Edgis Perio? Bet Mikotola said something might be bringing me a gift that I couldn't refuse and stick me with a pitchfork if she went telling the god's own truth. Here, you're supposed to have this bottle of wine. Take it to the flying shark and pour a cup for the sailor what's been drinking there. That's what she told me to tell you, and he wrote, I'd watch my back if I were you, though, lass. Them sailors are the meanest bunch of cutthroats I ever seen. So... You want me to taste your wine, eh? Well, now I ain't want to pass up free grog. Ancient wine. Limlian's teats. Now that's a bloody fine drop. If we ship this stuff to the east, we'll be selling bottles by the crate. You're coming with us back to the Morning Star. The captain will want to have a word with you. Alright. There's a good lass. And for you, Miss Dancer, you stick close to Old Hillskirt and it gets damn cold on them long sea voyages. Yep. That's her. Shh, we talk later. Since it's just there for the quest, the ship doesn't really have a model. It's just an animation. I cannot stand on that thing. You ready, then? We'll be off as soon as the boat's loaded. Ah, fine grog and a fine woman. The captain will be pleased with this haul. Pray do not stare so. That was the most expedient method of gaining access to the ship. I will take that satchel from you now. You may have it back after I take the items I need. What initiative are you two about? I'm merely borrowing some clothes. You wouldn't wish me to catch a chill from the brisk ocean air, would you? You'll be dancing yourself warm once we get on the ship, lass. You better slip off that rafty rope before you meet the captain. Of course, of course. I'd be happy to show him the performance that awaits. The bitch Admiral's lapdog. Come back for your lesson, have you? It is I who shall be teaching this day. My lecture will focus on the manipulation of reality through applied strategy. Enough of them yapping. By the time I'm done with you, remember who the real master is. Magic circle grunts usually affect vulnerability down. Serenia, with geometry will turn the tide of a battle. Fight, you worthless sea slugs! I ought to keelhaul the lot of you! Yeah, while I'm in the area of a book, I get damage down. Damage received down. I mean, of course, and... So far, so good. You rabid little curl. Our numbers matter not. It's the strategy that will win this battle. Prepare yourself, Doesmaga. With your defeat, will I cast off the shackles you closed on my soul. You think so, huh? Think your fancy magics are a match for my blade? You've got another thing coming. Your brutalized crew is not up to the task, Doesmaga. I'll calculate our odds of victory at 99%. So you can handle a few deck scracks. The axe will carve your pretty plains to bloody ruin. Doesmaga now faces defeat. He will flee to the starboard rail. Obvious. Next comes his attempt to escape into the sea. You think you're pulling my strings, do you? Think I'll dance to your tune? Well, I ain't falling for your bloody tricks. It is at this moment he notices the yellow jackets I had you summon in my explicit instruction to Rilzan. You were a fool to return, Doesmaga. I hear you are fond of shackles, so we bought a set especially for you. This concludes today's lecture. Thank you, Serenia. This strategy would not have succeeded without your flawless execution. Which suggests that my tactics that require more work, one must allow for some small deviation in performance. I believe, however, that I now understand where my calculations went awry. It is not enough to wish to shape reality, one must also have a complete understanding of a reality one wishes to obtain. It is time I sought out our guildmaster. Pray convey to Mrs. Strategem my fondest wishes and my appreciation for all she has done for me. The true test of my strategies now begins. And that is a dancer we gave a ton of money to. All of it seemingly nonsense tasks had a purpose. You have our gratitude. Without your bravery and skill, the leather jackets would still be floundering in Doesmaga's wake. Pray also send our regards to the acting guildmaster Strategem. Welcome back, Serenia. There's much I would ask you, but first, may I have a satchel received during your assignment? The original owner needs her costume back, you see? I'll make sure everything is returned safe and sound. Let us speak of Clea. I'm glad to know that she's finally freed herself to pursue her heart's desire, and you're to thank for awakening the foreseer to her self-imposed fetters. The brilliance of Clea's strategy served to blind her to her own feelings, and it pained me to see her suffer so. Your example may even encourage Clea to improve her combat abilities, although such will surely come in time. After all, she intends to study under the Guildmaster's direct instruction. Imagine those two obsessive Arcanists and the complexity of the tactics they will develop. It may very well be that your actions in bringing them together will prove a catalyst that sparks a new era of invention in the art of Arcanima. You too should look to the improvement of your discipline if you are to keep pace with all that's certain to follow. To that end, I offer you a new technique, one which will allow you to affect a wide swath of a battlefield and drain the life force of your foes. And we learn Bane. Spread the target's bio and miasma effects to nearby enemies. Potency is reduced by 60% for all remaining enemies. Okay, and... that we learned Bane. And the Arcanist quest is with that ended. And the Arcanist is the only class so far, and probably for the continuation, that actually has 2 drops. We get the Summoner job here. And the Scholar here. The Scholar is a healer job. The Summoner is an advancement of a Arcanist as a damaged class. Yeah, but that will not be today. Maybe next time, maybe later. Anyway, until next time, I'm Mace and don't get lost.